Hola mis amigos, it's time for me to get very personal and dive into sort of my journey as a human being. And I'm going to tell you my story, my coming out as a minimalist story, my coming out of the closet as a minimalist. I think maybe you got a little excited there. It's really just me deciding to be a minimalist because I'm boring. That's probably the most exciting journey that I've ever hit in my life, so if you're expecting something more, something a little more dramatic, sorry to disappoint. My entire life, I've been called a minimalist, right? My mom would ask me to clean my room, and I'd make like the half of the bed that you could see from the hallway and like push everything out of the way, you know, just to get it to pass. I'm sure like every kid did that. But my mom tagged me as a minimalist. She would always call me that, like all the time. You know, Spencer, you're such a minimalist. You need to stop being a minimalist. You minimalist, you. I'd be walking to school down the street, and the kids would point and laugh at me, and oh, look at that minimalist going by, oh, and they'd shout out all sorts of horrible names and call me things and say, go home, why don't you go home and do nothing, you minimalist, you. It was this burden. I thought it was bad. I thought it was horrible to be a minimalist. And I worked really hard at fighting it and getting rid of it and trying to not be a minimalist, you know, do things and do better jobs, but I just couldn't. I couldn't do something. I couldn't do anything outside of that. And it wasn't until one day in high school that I was at an art museum, and they had this minimalist exhibit going. The artist's name was Richard Tuttle. I'll remember that name forever. I don't know much about art, but I know that guy's name, and I know that he's a minimalist. And I saw it, and I was like, wow, like this is pretty cool. I don't really have much of an appreciation for art, and especially like modern contemporary art, but something about that, it just kind of captured me. And I was asking about it. My teacher was all like, oh yeah, like I'm intrigued by art. Oddly enough, this was a teacher that didn't like me too much for the same minimalistic qualities, and now I'm here talking about minimalistic art with her, you know. That was really strange. So it wasn't until I moved out. I moved out of my home, got away from my parents, got away from all that, and I started setting up my room. And I realized that I didn't really have much stuff. I liked not having anything. I like being able to move with one carload, because I've moved about 3 times in the past 2 years since I've moved out. Every time I move, I just get rid of more stuff and more stuff, because I don't want to carry it around with me, and I don't really need it. I do this, and I write, and I don't need stuff for that. So I would just bring the bare minimum along, and I realized that was really nice. And then I started seeing minimalism not as this like horrible part of yourself or whatever, this laziness, but I saw it as like a lifestyle, as like not just like a weird form of art, but as like who you are and the way you live. So I've embraced it now, and like I'm a minimalist, and I can come out of that closet and be proud of who I am, because I am a proud minimalist. And that is my story. Now here I am, and I'm probably going to be working for minimum wage for the rest of my life. But you know what? I accept who I am, and you should accept who you are too. If you have any awesome stories, then you should definitely throw them my way, and we'll do something cool about it. Alright guys, take it easy.